Hello friends, and welcome to your virtual art class. Today we are going to continue with our beautiful fall still life art projects, and we are going to put everything together. So hopefully you have your background created, you have your leaf rubbings all done and cut out, and I just want to say a couple things about these before we get too involved. If you can look, I left a little bit of a white space around my leaves just because I didn't want to get rid of any of that really kind of cool detail that the crayon created on the side. So I just left a little bit of white space, and I think that is perfectly fine to do. The other thing I did, friends, because I wanted to do some drawing and because I wanted to have some different types of looking leaves, I actually made some out of paper. And I just want to show you how to do that quick, just in case you want to. So what I did is I took a piece of kind of heavier paper, all right? It could be also a brown paper bag, because that's a nice sturdy material. This is some cardstock. It's actually an old Square One art form that I had lying around. So I'm going to use this. And what I did is I folded it in half. And here's my folded side, and here's my open mouth side. And the reason I did that is because if you look at a leaf, a lot of times when you look down the middle, you have this vein, and then you have all the smaller veins coming off of it. And friends, that is a line of symmetry. And to be symmetrical means it's the same on each side. And many of our leaves are symmetrical when you look at them. Now this one is a little bit broken and so forth. So this one is not symmetrical. This one is pretty much symmetrical, and so it's a good example to show you how to create our leaves. So when we're looking at our folded piece of paper, this fold represents the vein of the leaf, just like that, all right? So if I were to fold it, it would kind of look just like that. So what I did is I took my crayon, because we're creating these kind of cool watercolor resist type things, and what I did is I just drew half of the leaf. So you only have to get one side the way you want it. Now you can also do this in pencil first and then go over it in crayon if you want to. And so what you can see is it almost looks like a pond that you could jump into or something. So this is what my leaf looks like. And now, because I have it folded in half, I'm going to cut around it. Now, it's important, friends, to remember that when you draw, you want to start at the top of the fold and go to the bottom of the fold. If I do it over here where the mouth is, then I'm going to end up with two halves of a leaf. All right? So now I'm just going to cut this out and carefully cut around. And here is my leaf, just like that. So now I want to add more detail to it, right? I'm going to add, maybe I'll put another line here, and then here is that vein going down the middle, and now I'm going to add the other smaller veins going off the side. And so this is how you can add some more leaves to your artwork, all right? And just practice a little bit of drawing if you want to, and so forth, all right? Then I would go and watercolor it with my washable markers and get kind of a interesting effect to it. All right, so I'm going to put those to the side along with my other leaf rubbings. So the first thing you have to do is, after you finish all of your leaves, is just have a look at your background. And I've seen many of the ones that you have taken pictures of and shown to me. Now, I just want to show you this one that I made. It is got two distinct halves. We're not actually halves, but this is more like a third, and this is 2/3 of my paper. you are trying to designate a surface that your vase of leaves is going to sit on. And this, friends, is like a wall behind it, all right? So you want to have a big contrast between the two. Now, in some pictures I've seen that people have sent me, they have, this wonderful newspaper up here, and then they'll put newspaper down here. And friends, this just doesn't show a huge amount of contrast. So some things you can do to remedy that is I could add some more color down here, right? I could color it with my crayons. I could add, some magazine colors here and make some designs. But I want to make sure that these two areas, the wall and the table, are really different from one another, all right? I could also just keep this as a newspaper up here, and I could add a brown paper bag surface down here. And look at how nice now you can see the definite difference between the wall and the table. So really pay attention to that before you get started. My next step is going to be to create my vase, all right? And I found this beautiful bouquet of flowers in a magazine, and I thought, wow, this is going to be great for me to use as my vase for my leaves. So just like I did with creating, this leaf, what I'm going to do is I am going to fold this paper in half, all right? And I'm going to make sure that the part that I want to use as my vase pattern is on the inside. So I don't want to see that, all right? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on this, again, just half of what I want my vase to look like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Sharpie, because a Crayola marker really won't show up on this paper because it doesn't really stick. And once again, on the fold, here's the mouth, all right, and here's the fold. So with the fold pointing left, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start drawing the shape that I want for my vase. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I got a little confused there. So here's the shape that I'm going to draw for my vase. And one thing I kind of like to do, you almost start looking like a backwards 3. So this is like the lip of my vase up here, and down here is the part where I would put all of the water, all right? So I'm just going to make that nice and big. If you make it too small, it's going to be teeny tiny in the middle of your artwork. So we want to make it nice and big so that it will take up space. Remember, we're kind of working on trying to create some emphasis in our artwork so things really, really stand out. So now I'm going to cut, and remember, this is the fold, this is the mouth. If I cut along the fold, I'm going to have 2 halves to my vases, which is not a drama because you can always kind of stick them together, but it's the same idea. It's the same way when you cut out a Valentine heart, or any heart for that matter, out of a piece of paper. All right, so this is what my vase is looking like, and when I open up, I have this nice big beautiful vase right here, all right? So I am ready to go and glue this down. Now, if you have something like, I found this, I love this, right? I love this grid, but you can see there's not a lot of contrast here of this grid and this background. So what I could do is once again fold this and draw my vase. Here is my 3, all right? And cut this out quick. And what I have, you may have noticed, I don't even have to cut off the top of that. I'm just going to leave it just like that. So what you may have noticed over here is that I have some magazine papers. And what I would do then is just use these magazine colors to help create maybe some patterns and ideas that I could put on my vase to help it stand out a little bit more. I probably would also color it a little bit with a marker or some crayons, just to make sure that that is really going to stand out from my background. That is the key when you're creating something with multiple materials. You want to have some variety there so that it can make things stand out a bit better. All right, so I'm going to stick with this vase. I'm ready to go. I'm going to take my glue here, and what I'm going to do is you can see, I'm just going to flip this over. You can see here, I am going to just glue right like this, all right? I'm not going to put glue across the top yet because I want to be able to kind of shove some of my leaves down into the top of my vase. I think what I'm going to do too is maybe just make another little swirly here in the middle. Now I always say to my students, you don't need to pour out the glue. If you do, it can get quite messy and you can get quite gluey. But messy's okay. You just want to make sure that you don't waste. All right, so now I'm going to massage on my little vase here. All right, just massage that on. And I'm ready to start putting in all of my beautiful leaves. So you can see now that because I decided not to glue the top down, I can easily put my leaves into my vase. So I'm going to just kind of start sticking those in. I'm going to try to create a nice arrangement. Guys, it's totally okay for it to come off the paper, all right? And it's totally okay for them to come down off of the vase, all right? I mean, I don't want to cover all that up, but at the same time, if you have them all just standing straight in a row like this, it kind of starts to look a little bit boring. Also, if you start putting all the same colors together, again, it can be a little bit boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of stick these in just like that. Now, here's a little trick, or not a trick, but just a thought. You don't have to glue these down perfectly flat. That is the cool thing. If you have them so that they're a little bit sticking off, the paper, that is totally fine. It makes it seem a little bit more realistic. It gives your artwork a little bit more interest. You have some nice dimension to it, all right? You can see I'm hardly putting any glue on. And because these are such thin materials anyway, the coffee filter and the paper towel, that I don't need so much glue in order for it to stick. So I'm just going to keep going and try to create a nice and interesting composition here, or another word from composition is an arrangement of your art objects on your artwork. So I think this one will look really nice here. It's really nice if you overlap them. Like I said, trying to make them nice and natural looking. I made a lot of leaves here, all right? I'm super excited about that. I love how this is kind of sticking up here. You could have some kind of sitting on the ground like this, which is something that I'm going to do. I'm going to just glue a little bit here, and you see because of the way the paper curled because of the watercolor I did, you can see that it makes a nice three-dimensional look to it. It's like it's just sitting on the table. All right, so I'm going to keep going and create my composition here and just try to make it as interesting and as beautiful as I can. And here, guys, you see, this is a little one. I'm going to just hide that behind here and make it stick out so it looks like it's in the vase, but it isn't really. All right, so that's it. If you look at it and you think you want to add some more drawing or ideas to it, you can do that. This is a wonderful, wonderful thing to give somebody, you know, like a little kind of Thanksgiving, I'm grateful for you type of idea. Just a wonderful thing that you can create and put up on your wall and so forth. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful time creating this. I cannot wait to see what yours are going to look like when they're all done. Please send me a picture of them. Let's end our day today with a mindfulness activity, something called the gentle neck stretch. So sit up tall and slowly let your head fall to one side. And breathe in and breathe out. Stand up tall again and gently let your head fall to the other side. And breathe in and breathe out. Sit up tall once more and slowly let your head roll down towards your belly. Roll, roll, roll. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Sit up tall. Take another long breath in. And let it out real slow. Friends, I hope you have a wonderful day. Have a great time making your beautiful fall still life. I can't wait to see them. Take care and be happy. Bye.